What's up, guys? This is Man. I'm coming to you with a brand new deck profile today, and if you don't recognize what's on your screen, this is a brand new archetype that was recently linked through Italian Yu-Gi-Oh's Facebook page. I really like this deck. I'll leave a link to their Facebook page in the description below, but it's a Gemini-based deck called Chemical Beast, and we're going to be getting it in the future. I really like this deck. It's actually really fun. It's a decent little tier 2 deck, and it's actually pretty good. The Chemical Beast archetype has a lot of cards in the archetype that actually really help Geminis in general, and it actually gives Geminis the exact cards they need in order to be somewhat relevant. So let us get into the deck profile. First, we're playing 3 Chemical Beasts, Hydron, Hawk. If you don't know how Gemini monsters work, the first time that you normal summon them, they are treated as normal monsters, excuse me, and then you have to normal summon them again. They don't return the hand. You just say, okay, the monster's normal summoned again, and they become an effect monster. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that if you have a monster that's level 5 or above, normally a monster requires tribute for a normal summon. If you normal summon them again into a into an effect monster, you do not need to tribute anything. That's not how it works. You just say, okay, it's normal summoned again, and that's it. Anyway, moving on. 3 Hydron Hawk. He's okay. Basically, you discard 1 card and then target any Gemini monster in the graveyard and special summon in defense position, which is pretty decent. 3 Carbon Crab. He's my favorite personally because he deck thins really good. During your main phase, you can send 1 Gemini monster in your deck to the graveyard and then add another Gemini monster from your deck to your hand. It just helps you set up for your combos really, really easily. Moving on, 3 Oxine Ox. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 Gemini monster from your hand. That's any Gemini monster, not restricted by levels, so you have like all these level 8s down here, which is really nice. And then if you do, the levels of all Gemini monsters you currently control become equal to that monster's original level until the end of this turn, which is really great because if you summon one of these level 8s down here, it becomes a level 8, and then you can go into a rank 8 play, which is really, really powerful. Yeah, so moving on, or you can go to a rank 2 if you summon a level 2. There aren't a lot of great rank 2 monsters. I'm only playing like 3 down here, or 4. Moving on, 3 Advanced Chemical Beast Dioxin. He's one of the new ones as well. While he's an effect monster, normal summons of Gemini monsters cannot be negated, which is awesome. And then once per turn, you can banish 1 Gemini monster from your graveyard, then target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it, which is really nice. Only 2 Advanced Chemical Beast High Dragon. This is honestly one of the worst Gemini monsters I've ever seen. But because it's a Chemical Beast, it works with the deck really well, specifically with Burnout. But this card is still necessary to play. I only like it at 2 because Phoenix Gearfried is a lot better. But when a Gemini monster is normal summon except this card, you can make that monster gain 500 attack and defense. That's bleh. And then if a Gemini monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can destroy 1 other card you control instead. That's okay. It's not amazing. Really, he's here because of Burnout, as I said before. Also, his defense is huge. His 2800 defense, which is nuts. So let's move on. First, 3 Phoenix Gearfried. Phoenix Gearfried's really nice. When your opponent activates a spell card, you can select 1 Gemini monster from your graveyard and special summon it. Really awesome. Also, you can send 1 face-up equipped card you control the graveyard to negate the activation of a spell or trap card that targets a monster on the field and destroy it. Obviously, that card will probably be supervised, but and that can get you some pluses right there. So, Phoenix Gearfried, really, really good in this deck. 2 Woodland Archer. Woodland Archer is an okay searcher. He doesn't take up your normal summon, which is really nice, but the fact that you need 2 Gemini monsters in your graveyard in order to use his effect is kind of bad. He can't be normal summoned a step, and he can only be special summoned by having 2 or more normal monsters in the graveyard. By the way, all Gemini monsters are considered normal monsters in the graveyard. And then you contribute him to add 1 Gemini monster in your deck to your hand. So, it's useful. Like, sometimes it's funny, I open up with 2 of these, and I just somehow get 2 Gemini monsters in the graveyard, and then get 2 searches, which is really nice. Its effect is not once per turn, so Woodland Archer, it's okay. Not the best, but it's okay. 3 Unleash Your Power. Unleash Your Power is probably the best card to make for Geminis, I think. Other than the field spell, the new field spell, but this guy is... Unleash Your Power is really great. All Gemini monsters that were on your side of the field when this card was activated are treated as effect monsters and gain their effects, and then during the end phase, hit all monsters affected by this card's effect. That's actually really useful and helps. The set effect is not that big of a drawback as it would seem. If you leave one of these guys, like for example, if you leave a crab or an oxine ox in attack position, you'd much rather have them in defense because their defense is a lot bigger. So moving on, 3, supervise. Supervise is the second, like a really good card as well. You can only equip it to a Gemini monster. It's then treated as an effect monster and it gains its effects, which is awesome. And then when this face-up card on the field is sent to the graveyard, target one normal monster from the graveyard and special summon it. It provides some floating and it works really great with Phoenix Gearfried, so why not? 2, super double summon. This is probably the worst one. Select one Gemini monster you control and normal summon it during the end phase of this turn and return it to your hand. I honestly don't like the drawback, but the drawback doesn't come up too often, so that's pretty nice. 3, Spark Field. This field spell is nuts for this deck. Each turn, one level 5 or higher Gemini monster you normal summon can be summoned without tributing. That's awesome because you play 8 level 8 Gemini monsters. So this card becomes very useful. And then during your main phase, you can normal summon one Gemini monster in addition to your normal summon or set. So if you have 2 of these level 8s in your hand and you activate this, you can go into rank A play, which is really nice as well. 2, Silent Doom. Oh yeah, and then with this, you can target one card your opponent controls, banish one Gemini monster you control that's treated as an effect monster until your opponent's end phase, and if you do, destroy that card. So that's pretty useful for that. Anyway, 2, Silent Doom. Essentially Monster Reborn for the deck, and it just really helps. Typically the target is going to be High Dragon or Oxine Ox. So that's just, like, those would be the preferable targets because their defense is so high. Either that or not Oxine Ox, Carbon Crab, excuse me. But these 3 are really going to be your true targets for this because then you can go ahead and just normal summon them and activate their effects. 1, Terraforming. Terraforming, just to search out this card. 1, Trade-In, because you play 8 level 8, so the Trade-In helps with consistency. 1, Twin Twister. 1, Foolish. 2, Burnout. This is a pretty decent card. You can banish one face-up chemical beast monster you control. Doesn't matter if it's an effect or normal monster. And special summon 2 chemical beast monsters with different names from your deck. So you instantly go into a rank 2 or rank 8, which is awesome. And then when opponent's monster declares an attack, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from the graveyard. Target one of your banished Gemini monsters, essentially the card that you banish with this effect, and special summon it. It is treated as an effect monster. So Burnout, really good. 1, Gemini Counter. It's okay. Change one face-up Gemini monster you control to face down defense position and negate the activation of an opponent's spell card and destroy it. So, Gemini Counter, okay. And then finally, 1, Solemn Warning. Moving on to the extra deck, 3, Super Chemical Beast Methane Hide. This is the boss monster of the deck. 2 level 8 Gemini monsters. People were looking at this card on Facebook and saying, how the heck are you going to get this out? You need 2 level 8 Gemini monsters. It's really, really difficult. Like, no. In this deck, it is so easy to get this card out. It's not even funny. When this card is XC summoned, you can target one Gemini monster in graveyard and then special summon it, which is awesome. And then also, when a Gemini monster is normal summoned, you can detach one Xyz material from this card and make your opponent send one card from their hand or field to the graveyard. It's their choice, but regardless, still decent effect. And also, while this card is Xyz material, monsters your opponent controls cannot target face-up Gemini monsters for attacks. Also, your opponent cannot target face-up Gemini monsters you control with card effects. So your opponent basically has to go through him before he gets to the other stuff. 1, Galaxy Eye Sapphire Dragon. He's coming out. By the time these cards will be out, this card will also be out. This deck is going to be obviously available in the OCG first before it comes over to us. So this deck's only playable online. So might as well just play cards that are also only playable online. And he's okay. He's just good at getting things out of the way and then attacking. 1, Hope Harbinger. 1, Galaxy Eyes Tachyon. 1, Overlord. 1, Lancelot, 1, Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter, 1, Pain Gainer, 1, 7 Sins. I actually make 7 Sins pretty often. 1, Crumble Logos. If you don't know what this guy does, it needs 2 or more level 2 monsters. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card and target one other face-up card on the field. While this card is face-up on the field, that target's effects are negated. While the target is face-up on the field, neither player can activate cards with that name or their effects. 1, Sky Cavalry Centuria, pretty decent. 1, Herald of Pure Light, so you can recycle cards. And then finally 1, Armor Kappa. Honestly, this last slot could be anything. Armor Kappa's god-awful, but I just threw him in because rank 2s don't have a lot of stuff available to them. Dagusto Phoenix would probably be a better card, but yeah, it's just Armor Kappa instead. So thank you guys for watching this deck profile. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a nice day.